St. Catherine North Police Division mourns loss of 2 members. The St. Catherine North Division of the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF is in mourning following the deaths of 2 of its members. The deceased are Sergeant Maxine Brown and Corporal Alwick Morris. According to information received, Sergeant Brown passed away at the University Hospital of the West Indies on Sunday morning after a prolonged battle with cancer. Corporal Morris, meanwhile, succumbed to injuries sustained in a car accident last week. The JCF said it is deeply saddened by the passing of its members. Taxi operator shot dead in Lawrence Tavern, 2 in custody. A taxi operator was shot and killed shortly after 7 p.m. on Saturday along Content Main Road in the Rose Hill area of Lawrence Tavern, St. Andrew. He was allegedly attacked by 2 males who had chartered his taxi. The suspects were later apprehended by residents, beaten and handed over to the police according to preliminary reports. The deceased man has so far been identified as Vern. Body of John taximan retrieved. The body of the St. James taxi operator, who drowned while trying to cross a flooded ford on Saturday, was retrieved from the Duck River in Hopewell Highgate in the parish. The deceased has been identified as 51-year-old Hansa Shea of Richmond address. Residents reportedly fished the body from the silver Probox motor vehicle the deceased was driving at the time of the death. The 2 passengers who were traveling with him at the time of the incident are still in hospital recuperating. According to reports, the taxi operator was coming from Highgate en route to Jonker Spring with 2 passengers on board. Upon reaching Richmond Road, which was allegedly impassable, the taxi operator decided to take an alternate route through Marlborough. It is alleged that upon reaching the Duck River Ford, the driver reportedly attempted to cross but became trapped. The silver Toyota Probox he was driving was then swept away by floodwaters. The 2 passengers managed to escape but sustained broken bones and were taken to the Anota Bay Hospital for treatment. Olympic Way residents protest fatal crash involving police. Scores of residents of Olympic Way in St. Andrew blocked several roadways in the community after 2 men were killed in a crash involving a police. Dead are 21-year-old Jaheim Morrison of Grover Road and 18-year-old Renate Lawrence of Mapleview Avenue, both in Kingston 11. Police reports are that about 11:50 p.m., Morrison was driving a missile motor vehicle with Lawrence as a pillion rider. On reaching a section of the roadway, a police vehicle collided with the bike. Morrison, Lawrence, and 2 police officers sustained injuries and were taken to hospital, where the 2 civilians were pronounced dead. Residents have questioned the circumstances surrounding their deaths. The residents who used debris, stoned, and burning tar to block several roadways in the community are demanding justice. Meantime, the head of the Constable Communications Network, Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lizzie, said following dialogue with the commanding officer for St. Andrew South, residents were assured that they would remove the blockages. Meanwhile, Assistant Commissioner of Independent Commission of Investigations Indicom Hamish Campbell is urging witnesses to assist investigators in their probe.
They were addressed by the commanding officer, F.B. Manderson, and based on his dialogue with them, they said they would remove the roadblock. Indicom was also there, as well as our own iProbe Inspectorate branch investigating the matter. So at this point, that's about what we can confirm and what we know, and the investigation continues.
So the investigation is still at its early stages, and we're looking for witnesses. The police have acknowledged that there was an incident where one of their vehicles was involved in a collision in the early hours of this morning, just after midnight. There are reports which are being investigated that are not confirmed that somebody heard a shot being fired. And so it's a matter which has caused some clearly public consternation and concern, and our inquiries at this stage continue.
Licensed firearm holder accidentally shoots himself in St. Thomas. A 45-year-old businessman and licensed firearm holder accidentally shot himself in Seaford, St. Thomas on Saturday. The incident reportedly occurred about 11:40 a.m. while the man was used in a restroom. His firearm slipped from his waistband as he was attempting to retrieve it. The gun discharged, injuring him in one of his legs. He was taken to hospital for treatment. The firearm has been seized pending an investigation by the Morant Bay Criminal Investigations Branch. The principal cannot return. Head of the Parent Teachers Association PTA of John Mills Primary and Junior High School, Mark Thorpe, said parents are fully prepared to withdraw their children from the institution and stage a protest if suspended principal Brother Robinson, who was recently freed of pornography charges, is allowed to return to the school. We do not want him to return as principal. We are saying yes, the courts have freed him, but we are of the position that he should not return to the school, the PTA president noted. In 2014, Robinson was arrested and charged by detectives from the Center of the Investigation of Sexual Offenses and Child Abuse (SOCO) following allegations that he was communicating with a student at the institution by sending her lewd photos via WhatsApp. He was suspended as principal pending the outcome of the case. When the matter was brought before the court in October, Robinson's attorney Hugh Wildman argued that his client should be freed because the 9-year delay in trying the case was a breach of his constitutional rights. The prosecution was given a week to respond to the attorney's application, but on October 18, informed presiding judge Justice Sonia Bertram Linton that they are not offering any further evidence against the principal. Robinson was discharged. Wildman then implored the judge to return a formal verdict of not guilty, and the judge granted the order. The PTA president noted that the judge has not yet made a written judgment, and the chairman of the school board has refused to act until this is done, claiming that his hands are tied. As a member of the board and the PTA president of the school, I disagree with the chairman, Dr. Cameron, that the board hands are tied in the matter. The chairman is of the view that since the court has decided to dismiss the case, then the board has no other alternative but to allow Robinson to return to the school in his substantive post without even a personal committee hearing to decide if he is still fit and proper to remain as principal, the PTA president noted. He argued that the board should not wait on the formal verdict but act immediately to have a proactive response. We don't know how fast Mr. Robinson will act as soon as the written judgment is made out. If it is that it comes in the morning, he could come back to school in the afternoon. We don't know. That's why we are asking the chairman to let us have a board position before the written judgment. But he says he's waiting, and I think that it is not a responsible position to take by the board, added the president. We should prepare ourselves for what the written judgment is going to be, seeing that we don't have the oral judgment is, the case was dismissed. We are of the thought that if he, Dr. Cameron, is not preparing us to look at the matter in a responsible manner, then we think that he is aiding and abetting the return of the principal, stated the president. When contacted by reporters for a response on whether the board would reinstate Robinson, Dr. Cameron said he had no comment. He also refused to provide a comment on all questions related to the topic. The president, however, further expressed concern that many parents were not made aware about Robinson's case as the possibility of his return. He stated that while a meeting was had with members of staff, there was no communication to parents about the matter. At my executive meeting and meeting with the parents last week, I had to tell them about the situation because it was the first they were hearing it. They are willing to move their children immediately, stated the president. He stressed that Robinson must face a fit and proper panel. If the principal is fired by the board, we feel he has the option to appeal, as every human being have that right. Let him appeal it, but don't tell me that your hands are tied. Fire him and make him appeal. Don't tell me as chairman that you're hoping he will go away quietly, stated the president. What message are we sending to the children? Does anyone even care? This is a school with children who mostly reside in the inner city. Poor people picnics are vulnerable in many ways. There are numerous allegations that other staff members have abused children in the past and have been left off the hook, and I hear that at least one cheerleading to the return of Robinson. What are we doing here? He questioned. The president said in protest he has taken action to remove his child from the institution, but will remain as president to represent the interests of other parents who elect him. However, if Robinson is reinstated, he said that he will step down as president. He further noted that a meeting is scheduled for this week where parents and executive members will be presented with an argument to sign which states that if Robinson is reinstated, they will pull their children from the school and engage in a protest. The principal Robinson cannot return as principal to the school, declared the PTA president. to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.